this city. Welcome to the community shall be restored. Hey, Charlie Beckham, welcome to the community shall be restored. Welcome, Charlie.
Thanks, thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here. How are you?
Great.
Good. Great day to be in Detroit today, right?
Yes,
I'm a little casual today. I just came off a tennis court. So,
Exercise.
it's good to be here. Yeah, this is a great time. Great time in Detroit.
All right, Charlie, you play tennis too?
I do on a regular basis, at least twice a week.
Wow, you pretty good or how are you?
Well, you know, I can get the ball across the net. That's what been playing about 40 years, so that's my favorite sport. I'm not a golfer,
Right.
and so tennis is my game, and I enjoy it. It keeps me fit.
Okay. Charlie, you're from the mayor's office, and, is there anything going on in the mayor's office? Anything that you may want to give to the community? Anything new that the community may not know yet? Because we have a show here. Show is reaching about 10 million people around the region. And not only that, it's loaded with a community audience and the viewers and political viewers and political audience and community audience. Is there anything that the people need to know that they may not know what's going on in the mayor's office?
Well, absolutely, Dr. Banks. First of all, let me commend you for what you do with this program here at WHPR. You're right, it does reach a lot of people. It's important for folk to really find out what's going on in their city, and this is certainly one medium to be able to do that. And you and all your folks do an absolutely outstanding job of making sure that happens. And you've got a great lineup of people coming. You've had a good lineup of people who have been here. And that's just commendable, and I really appreciate what you do there.
Thank you, Charlie.
But we are doing a lot in the mayor's office. Sometimes it kind of sneaks up on people. We've been working, of course, since January of 2014 when the Dudley administration came in, and the biggest problem we had, particularly in the neighborhoods, was just this overwhelming feeling of blight, abandoned houses, burned out homes, etc., no street lights, slow response time from the police department and EMT, and so the mayor chose to concentrate on those things initially. Let's get the basic services back in place. And so if you look around in the neighborhoods now, we have now installed our 62nd thousandth light in the last couple of weeks.
Wow.
We're on our way to 66,000 brand new lights around the city. We started in the outskirts of the city and worked our way in, so the only area that's left is downtown and midtown. And as you know, everybody always says, well, downtown, midtown gets all of the attention. Well, we did it just the opposite.
Charlie, they're starting to call in now.
All right, okay.
Do you want to take calls
We
today?
can do that. That would be fine. I have no problem with that. That way we can.
All right, bring them on the line with Charlie Beckham. Hello, you on the air with Prophet Cedric Banks and Charlie Beckham.
Good evening, Prophet.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you? I got one question for your guest. Did he get a card?
Did I get a card? This sounds like Minister Shabazz.
It does, don't it?
How are you, my friend?
I want to know if you got a card. I ain't heard. I wanted to know if you got a card.
Got a card. What card would that be, Minister? I did get a call from you earlier today.
No, condolence card.
Oh, absolutely, Minister, from you and your staff. Now I know what you're talking about. I did. I really appreciate the thought and the process there. What he's talking about, Prophet Banks, is that about a month and a half ago, my mother passed. And she was 99 years old, almost 100. She had a good run. And the minister, my good friend, Minister Shabazz, and all of his staff and people sent me a card. It really touched my heart. It took a while to get through the process, Minister, but I did get it. I'll be sending you all a thank you card soon, but I really appreciate the thought behind that. She was 99 years, 7 months, and 12 days old. She didn't quite get to 100, but had a good run. And Minister, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And your mother also stated she close enough to 100. If we can get anywhere near her, we're going from.
There's no question about that. No question about it. She had a little Alzheimer's, but physically she was still in great shape. No cane, no wheelchair, no walker. She could go to lunch with us. It was great. So she she had a good run, and we really appreciate the thoughts and the condolences that came in around that. So thank you very much.
Okay, well look, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the rest of the program.
All right,
Minister, we appreciate you being just a rock in the community, man. You've just been solid for so many years and just an anchor in the community. And Community Shall Be Restored TV show and my staff really appreciate you being a rock, a man that don't compromise, take a stand and got the heart and the tenacity just to take on anything and anybody. And don't ever lose that, okay?
Well, we thank you for that, Doc. And we just trying to do like you and follow Jesus Christ. That's all we can do. I can't come up with a better example. So that's what we aiming for. We trying to, we far from perfect, but we still striving for perfection.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks for the call, Minister.
Okay, y'all be blessed now.
You
right,
too.
now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, he must have he has a hotline, a direct line into the show.
Yeah. You know, your mother, that's longevity runs in your family, 99 years old. That's in your bloodline, that's in your genes. That's longevity.
There's no question.
And you know what? That's what you call a long, prosperous, healthy life. 99 years, no cane, no walker. That's a long, prosperous, healthy life. And you know, that's just a blessing. And Charlie, you're over all 7 districts, and you got some. How's Blight coming? How are you all? Are you all making a progress with the Blight?
We are, and you know the primary thing that causes the blighted neighborhood, of course, is all of the abandoned homes that we've had in Detroit. And once we really got the inventory of that about 2.5 years ago, it was almost 60,000 homes. And that's a lot of houses that have been abandoned that we have to tear down. And so we started the process. We really went after it. The mayor went to Washington and got a lot of the HHF hardest hit funds out of HUD to begin to tear those houses down. And so the first year we tore down 4,000. The next year in 2015 we did 5,000. This year we're shooting for another 6, maybe even 7,000. And so we've torn down over 10,000 abandoned houses in the neighborhoods throughout this city. I am sure that most residents can attest to that. People that have had to live with abandoned houses next to them or on their block for year after year after year, we've been able to tear those houses down. The way the process is set up, we can only tear a house down if we own it. And so we've put all of those houses in the land bank. When we don't own the house and find out there's a private owner, we have a process called the nuisance abatement program. And what we do is we file suit against the owner of that house if it's an abandoned house and it's causing blight and the law basically says that you cannot maintain your house so that it's a nuisance in the neighborhood. So we file suit. You have 120 days to either enter into a consent agreement with us and agree to bring it up to code. If you don't do that, then the deed automatically refers back to the city of Detroit. We now own it, and then we can either tear that house down, or if it's rehabable, we'll rehab it and put it on our auction site, because we've auctioned over 3,000 houses in the 2.5 years we've been there. We do about 2 or 3 a week. You can go on buildingdetroit.org and you see those houses every day. And so what we're doing is tearing down the abandoned houses, repairing and fixing up and putting on auction those that we can't do it, and beginning to restore the neighborhoods by putting people into those homes built up to code. And so it's slow but sure, but we figure we got another 2 or 3 years to really eliminate all of that blight from those abandoned houses. But we're making great progress. We're really happy about that. And I talked earlier about the street lights. We now have the new LED lights on every street. I know I've got them downtown in my neighborhood, and they're absolutely outstanding. It's taken a while for people to get used to them because the LED lights are a little different than the old sodium vapor lights. So people thought they were going to kind of get the same thing. It's different, it's new, it's high tech, but once people get used to them, they're really, really starting to like those lights. If you look at all of the main drags around the streets, Grand River, Gratiot, Michigan Avenue, Woodward Avenue, we finished all of those streets. Makes a huge difference now. I mean, you can literally read a newspaper sitting under one of those lights. And so slowly but surely we're beginning to bring back the neighborhoods and the main thoroughfares that go through our neighborhoods in the city of Detroit.
Okay, Charlie, you got 7 districts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 per district.
Yes, a district manager and a deputy district manager in each district.
Is that something was beneficial? Is it something that's making progress out there? Are these 7 districts making progress and being beneficial to the community out there? Because also the city council has 7 districts too.
They do.
When we talk about you all,
yeah,
the mayor's office has 7 districts.
Yeah,
and what type of impact is these 7 districts making from the mayor's office standpoint?
It's been outstanding, Prophet Banks.
Okay.
We use the format that city council set up with city council districts.
Right.
And they were all elected by those districts, and the mayor felt that there should be a connection with the residents to the mayor's office in those districts also, in addition to city council. So we created what we now call the Department of Neighborhoods, that, as you said, has a district manager and a deputy district manager in each one of those. Now, we don't work in opposition to those council people.
Okay, good.
They are partners with each of the council district folk. And so now the residents have not only a council person they can call and refer to for issues that they have a concern, but they can call a district manager or deputy district manager from the executive branch and the mayor's office to get things done. So it has been an outstanding boost to the residents in the city now to feel connected with downtown and City Hall in terms of getting their needs addressed. And so if you've got an abandoned house, a burned out house, if there's a crime issue, whatever your issue of concern is with respect to the city, there is, outside of the council person's office, another place that you can call and get those problems addressed. And so I think we did about 15,000 complaints that we responded to last year. In 2015, we'll probably double that this year. But it's been an outstanding tool for the citizens to connect with in their districts.
Okay, that's outstanding. Now, what if I'm in District 1, District 2, or District 3, Charlie, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, and I got an issue. Who do I call? How do I know who to call? Do I call City Council or do I call the mayor's office? How do I know who to call for the issue I got? Or can I call both, or do this mayor's office? Huh? Do the mayor's office just handle these type of complaints? Do the city council, the 7 districts handle these type of complaints? Who do I know who to call? Because we got a lot of people out there, they probably say, okay, who do I call? The mayor's office, they got 7 districts. City council got 7 districts.
That's a very good question. And a lot of people get that confused. You know, city council is the legislative branch of the city, and they are elected. And their job, of course, is to establish and write and change when necessary the ordinances that drive the city of Detroit and interpretation of the charter. And that's their job. They're the legislative branch. The mayor's office is the executive branch. And so we take care of all of the operations. And so if you have operational issues in terms of trash pickup, an illegal dump site, a police complaint, illegal dump site, your street light goes out, those kinds of things, the mayor's office handles those things. And so we're the executive branch. And so you should, in fact, call your district manager. Now, a lot of times we get those complaints. They do come through the council person's office, and that council person will call that district manager to get the problem solved. At the end of the day, our primary purpose is to solve the problem. So if it starts in the councilman's office and it's something we can do in the executive branch, we'll do it. And if it's vice versa, if it's an ordinance issue, something needs to be changed, ordinance interpretation, a zoning issue, that usually goes through the council person's office in the legislative branch. But this is a team working in each of those districts. And it's important for the citizens to know that in the old days, there were always these fights between the mayor's office and the council's office. Right. Some of them, quite frankly, have been historic. Those days have gone. It's one joint effort now. The mayor goes to lunch with each of the council people on a regular basis. And so it's a team approach. We're partners. And our job is to make sure that the citizens get their problems taken care of. You can always go on the website if you don't have the phone number at DetroitMI.gov. We've got cards like this that are around in the rec centers and other places that has a picture and a phone number and location and address for each one of our district managers and deputy district managers. And it's been in place now for about 2.5 years. And pretty much everybody knows, we do charter mandated community meetings with the mayor. We just had one last Thursday. We got another one coming up on Tuesday. The first thing he does when he gets to those meetings is he says, how many of you all know your district manager or deputy district manager in your district? And we've not had a district yet where at least 2/3 of the people in that room didn't raise their hand and say they know him. So they've been out there. Their job and the assignment I gave them when we appointed them a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, was to get to know every block club captain, every neighborhood association president, every small church, the faith-based community, nonprofit, anybody that's working out in those communities. It's that district manager's job to know them and to know what's going on. And they've just done an outstanding job. I've got 14 very, very, very good people, and they are immersed into their communities. And so they know what's going on. So when the mayor wants to know what's happening in District 7, what's happening out on West Warren, with the Arab community out there, if he wants to know what's going on at Livernois and 7 Mile, and when he asks the district manager, they can always answer to him as to what the pulse of the community is.
Pastor Donetta, we got Charlie Beckham from the mayor's office here today. Do you have a question for him?
Yeah, I was wondering about the faith-based. The mayor has a faith-based organization. I'm wondering exactly if an organization wanted to be a part of that, or exactly what do they do now? Because I do know a while back, I don't know what year it was, but Pastor Prophet was a part of the faith-based our church were,
Yes.
and they were sending us into schools.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, are you still?
That was under Dave Bing administration.
Dave Bing administration.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm wondering if there are organizations out there that would like to be a part of what's going on in the community. Is that organization still there? Do we still have faith-based? How would they connect to that?
That's a very good question. We have a young lady named Tara Defoe. Don't know whether you know her or not, but she's our faith-based coordinator in the mayor's office. She does have a faith-based coordination program. We're working on that constantly. I know that we're kind of revamping it now. I think you all know, I mean, we've probably got over 3,000 churches
Oh, really?
in the city of Detroit.
Right.
And so we've got several different denominations, independent churches, and so we're trying to sort that out so that we can make sure we cover all of the different groups, faith-based groups that we have. And we've been having regular meetings up in the mayor's office. We need to make sure that you all are tied into that. I will certainly mention it to Tara Defoe, but if you want to talk to her, so it's 224-3400 is the mayor's office, and Tara Defoe is the faith-based coordinator there. So we do have an active faith-based program. The mayor meets with all of the faith-based groups on a regular basis.
Okay.
All right. You've been part of city government over the last 40 years. You were on part of Coleman Young's former Mayor Coleman Young's administration. Charlie, how was it being part of Mayor Young's administration? How was it?
Well, you know, Prophet, it was outstanding. Certainly a one of a kind experience. Mm-hmm. You're right. I've had the good fortune of being able to serve the citizens of the city of Detroit for over 40 years now. I did start with Coleman Young. How that got started was, you know, my brother, Bill Beckham Jr., was Coleman Young's first chief of staff and deputy mayor.
Wow.
And Coleman Young was a personal friend of the family. He and my dad served together in the UAW. They were union members. So that's how that relationship got started. And so I got appointed because of that. My brother was there. And it grew from there. But he was just an unbelievable character. He was the type of person, Prophet, that you couldn't sit in the same room and interface with him without learning something. Mm-hmm. He was a master politician, and somebody who just really genuinely loved the city of Detroit and the citizens of the city of Detroit. And of course, he was pretty colorful, which everybody knows, and so it was always a thrill a minute when you were up there. I had the pleasure of serving many positions under his administration. I was director of the water department, deputy director of the water department, president of the board of water commissioners, vice president of public lighting commission, and served in a number of posts. But it was an outstanding chance.
We got 1 minute.
Sure.
Outstanding. We have had an outstanding show today. Tremendous from Charlie Beckham, the resources that he has brought, the experience that he has as a governmental leader, a city leader here, the respect that this man commands in the city of Detroit as a leader. He's just been outstanding, been well trained and developed by the best of them out there. Coleman Young. But you know, We will see you next Saturday at 2:30 p.m. I have been your host today, Prophet Cedric Banks, along with
Prophetess Vanetta Banks.
and along with
Charlie Beckham.
all right, we'll see you next Saturday right here at 2:30 p.m.